Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, Part 50. He asked, "What's wrong, Miss Emma?" "Oh, it's you, Mr. Ladd. Rebecca won't let me cry for fear of spoiling my looks, but I must have just one chance before I go in. I only have to sing with the school. I'm not graduating. Not that I mind that. It's only being separated from Rebecca that I cry." The two walked alone together. Adam comforted Emma Jane until they reached the old meeting house, where the graduation exercises were held. The interior, with its decorations of yellow, green, and white, was crowded, the air hot. The essays, songs, and recitations were precisely like all others that have been since the school began. Rebecca saw Hannah and her husband in the audience, Cousin Ann also, and felt hurt at the absence of Arella, though she had known there was no possibility of seeing her. The Cobbs had come, and there were other Riverboro faces, but where is Aunt Jane? Aunt Miranda had not intended to come, she knew, but where on this day of days was the beloved Aunt Jane? Rebecca played, she sang, and recited her parts, only brought to consciousness by meeting Mr. Aladdin's eyes as she spoke her last line. That was the end of the program. It was over. The diplomas had been presented, and each student had gone forward to receive a roll of parchment. After the crowd had thinned a little, Adam Ladd made his way to the platform. Rebecca turned from speaking to some strangers and met him in the aisle. "Oh, Mr. Aladdin, I'm so glad you could come. Tell me," as she looked at him half shyly, for his approval was dear to her, and more difficult to win than that of others. "Tell me, Mr. Aladdin, were you satisfied?" "More than satisfied," he said. "I'm glad I first met the child. I'm proud that I've known you as a girl, and I'm now eager to meet the woman." Rebecca's heart beat high at the sweet praise from her hero's lips, but before she could find the words to thank him, Mr. and Mrs. Cobb approached her, and she introduced them to Mr. Ladd. "Where is Aunt Jane?" she cried, holding Aunt Sarah's hand on one side and Uncle Jerry's on the other. "I'm sorry, but we have bad news for you. It's Aunt Miranda's worse. I can see it by your looks," and Rebecca's color faded. "She had a stroke yesterday morning, just when she was helping Jane lay out her things to come here today. Jane said you are not to know anything about it until the exercises were over, and we promised to keep it secret till then."